Tonight, 7 News Carolina's family honors our veterans and the sacrifices they make on the battlefield and here at home.
Our story is about a man who dreamed of serving his country, but failed to live up to military standards. And when he felt like his life was at its lowest point, he was saved by a combat veteran with a new mission here at home. These are the Fellow Countrymen. We'd introduce you to Artem Kurikov if we could only get him to hold still. It's 5:45 a.m. He's already a blur, rushing to put on a uniform that's very different from the one he'd always dreamed of wearing.
Give back in a way that the only way I knew how to. Enlisting to the military.
And because he does things quickly, Artem couldn't wait to sign up.
Did you sign right out of high school?
At 17, so...
Okay.
Yes.
Unfortunately, Artem was also quick to find trouble. Not long after dropping anchor near Chicago, he wrecked his military career with what he now admits were his own bad choices.
I was young. I was making dumb decisions. I just wasn't really paying. I wasn't very attentive to the rules and regulations.
Still a kid, still eager to serve, Artem's youthful mistakes would leave him lost, kicked out of the service with nowhere to turn.
All I wanted to do was stay in there. Without it, I felt like I didn't have anything. Like there was nothing I could do, that I was just, almost like useless in a way.
Embarrassed, homeless, and hopeless, it was at life's lowest point when a washed-out sailor met a true American hero.
How's it going?
David Nardone's a combat veteran, part of the first wave into Iraq in 2003, the violent initial push to Baghdad. He rode in front of a column of Marines, called in air support to protect the men behind him. 15 years later, he's still providing cover.
What we're supposed to do, man. We're supposed to be there for each other.
David founded Fellow Countrymen, a private charity for his brothers and sisters in arms who struggle to find meaning when they return to civilian life.
There's no better feeling in the world than to help somebody else up from their struggles and see them, go after life again.
This home for homeless vets is itself named for a heroic Marine. Jordan Harder died protecting his brothers from a terrorist ambush in 2008. And Fellow Countrymen let Artem Kurikov, who never saw a second of combat, live here rent-free until he was ready to live alone.
Where would you be right now if it hadn't been for that program?
I probably wouldn't be breathing. Probably wouldn't. I'm not really sure where I'd be.
You've probably saved a man's life right here. This is out of the service. You have saved a man's life. Are you aware of how much good you're doing?
Yeah.
For David Nardone, it's a personal struggle.
22 stands for the 22 veterans were losing a day in a 24-hour time frame.
It wasn't till he got home from Iraq that David learned how badly he'd been wounded by the war, crippled by addiction, homeless for 6 months, and sometimes still blinded by the things he's seen.
And I've got this image of a man carrying his charred body of his child out, screaming at us, and it's a charred body of a child. After we dropped a bomb on a building, you come back home, and all those images come back to you. It's crippling, man. It can be crippling at times.
Like all true heroes, his salvation is service. Handing hamburgers to the homeless once a month in Greenville, or marching for mental health in Travelers Rest. It's his own story of struggle that connects David.
My PTSD was from my combat experience in Iraq in 2003.
With those who need the love of a brother, those who understand what it means to serve. Fellow Countrymen provides PTSD support to young vets every other week.
I did 2 combat tours in Iraq with the United States Marine Corps.
I struggled with not finding my purpose for a long time after I got out. And it wasn't because I wanted to, it's because I guess my brain was scrambled a little too much when I was in Iraq.
If it wasn't for this, I don't know where I would be.
You're saving them and they're saving you.
It saved Artem Kurikov from a life on the streets. Because of his success at fellow countrymen,
It's almost like, who am I? Like, I don't even recognize myself when I look, you know, at my own reflection sometimes. It's like, who is this guy, you know?
But you like what you see now.
I like what I see now, yeah.
Artem's back in uniform
I'm a correction officer.
and again serving others, living the life he felt destined to live.
David Nardone does have a plan to raise enough money by 2020 to save more vets, those who served in combat and those like Artem who were willing to sign up but then ran into trouble along the way.
Gordon, I think we're all blown away by what Nardone has done and continues to do. And I can imagine that for military members, service members, the most difficult thing might be to get to the point where you allow yourself to ask for help. Did Nardone give any advice to families when they see a military member, a loved one who isn't at that point yet?
You know what? After spending several weeks with a couple of groups like David's, the thing that comes back again and again and again is these vets, when they come back, need somebody to have their six, have their back when they get back. And so finding a group of fellow veterans who understand what you've been through is crucial. So David's group is one of those perfect resources, especially for the younger vets, Iraq, Afghanistan, to go find somebody who knows that struggle very personally.
Incredible. Gordon, all of that information on how to contact that organization on WSVA.com.
Yep.